Okay, so this is just a video, another video where what I'm basically going to do is just to show you what happens when, with a sort of change, another extra change that I've made. So basically the setup's still the same with the two servos, one for reset and one for, to power the machine off. But the other addition that I've added, it might be hard to see in the view, but basically, when you look at the, basically here, this is, orange Pi 0 that I've also bought. And basically what I'm using that as is for USB, on-the-go storage. And so essentially the way I've connected it is that the Ethernet from it is plugged straight into an Ethernet adapter with the Raspberry Pi. So if the whole unit is remote, you connect to the Raspberry Pi over the internet, and then from the Pi, you connect via the USB Ethernet to the Raspberry Pi, the Orange Pi 0. So basically, on this display, so as you can see, through the USB Ethernet, the Pi 0, Orange Pi 0, has got an IP address of ending with 22. So if I connect to it, okay, so we're in there, and basically in here, what I have is, on the SD card, I have a couple of images, and basically one of them is a ISO, and the other one is just an image of a USB drive. And what I basically did with that USB was to, what did I do? Oh yeah, to just put various installers onto it. So you'll see what I mean once I actually get things going. So first things first, I also ended up, burning the previous, Arduino. So I had to sort of redo this one. So basically the first thing I have to do is, go in here and to just do the server adjustments again. So that's just Control 4. Alright, so it's on server adjustment mode, so okay, so that's in. So I'll just adjust the next one. Okay, so the positions are saved. So now if I do Control Alt 5 to exit adjust mode, so they're back out again. Okay, so that's that done. So now I've just got to turn the power on to the machine. Okay, so that's the machine on. So now if I just do Control-7, so no, it's 9, that's the power on. So there we go, so the machine's up. And of course there's nothing there, so basically nothing's showing up. So what happens if I go onto the Orange Pi Zero, and what I've done is I've written this little ncurses program because I was going to do it just by typing in the command or getting it from the history, but for some reason something in my mind just said that I couldn't really be bothered to type out the names of the files, so for some reason I just had to end up writing this program. And what it does, it reads the whatever files are in the directory ending with image or ISO, and then it puts them in a little or in a menu. So one thing I've found so far is that it doesn't seem as if the ISO works so well, because I'll show you. So if I select the ISO, you see it says the ISO has been attached to the USB. So now if I go to the this is the machine, and basically if you do so just Control-2 just to give it the reboot. So I managed to fix that. It was just a little change in the code that was needed. In the box, keep forgetting. There we go. And so just to show that it is actually working. Alright, so when you get to this screen, see nothing happens, and it tries to boot from the CD, and you'll notice that the CD drive is actually showing up. But I don't know what it is, if it's the Orange Pi that's the problem, or if I don't know, problem with the settings or kernel. But basically for some reason it reads the CD but it just won't boot from it. But what I've found is that if I then go into here and change it to the drive image, then when I press enter on that, so now it's attached to the USB image to the bus instead. So if I give it the Control-2, right, so restart. And so this time it actually works. So there we are, in the boot menu for the and what this is actually, I've created this using the what's the name, what I do is I'll do a video of this showing how I did it, because it's not that difficult to do. But basically these are the different types of OS that I can choose. So say if I wanted to, I don't know, boot CentOS, I'll press return on that. And I presume it's installing, but we'll soon find out. Yeah, okay, looks like it is. And actually I was surprised because I was worried the Orange Pi 0 might have a problem. But it seems like it's doing a decent job of yeah, so basically what that also means is that it seems so far if you want anything to be installed, you have to you have to put it onto a USB image. That's if you use an Orange Pi 0. I had a Raspberry Pi 0, but I managed to destroy it somehow. So it was working, but then stopped working because I just messed it up. I don't know how. So if I try and do Control Alt 2 here, of course it completely ignores it because it's it's not in real mode, so of course it ignores any of the BIOS keys. So of course, to get out of this, we just do our Control Alt 7 and give it that reset, and out we go. So you don't have to worry about being stuck in any kind of situation where where the machine freezes up. So now, so that USB is still there. So say we wanna, I don't know, install XP for some reason. And you have noticed this happens sometimes. Sometimes the key will stop working. Not sure what that is, but the way around that is just a Control Delete and that. Go back in again. I'm not sure if it's because I take too long to press the keys or something happens. Okay, so say if I want to install, say, older version of Windows, NT5, then I've got some options here. Oh, it got stuck. Oh no, I thought it got stuck. Yeah, so this is for XP. So you can go in there, run that installer. And I was worried it might be a bit slow, but it seems like it's actually quite reasonably quick as well. Usually, I remember on old machines, that used to take forever sometimes. So it shows that the Raspberry Pi 0 is actually doing a decent job. Okay, but alright, so we're not gonna do this. So the one I wanted to show working. Yeah, was actually the yeah, so in here we can go into even server 2012, but the only thing is this machine's only got 2 gigs of memory, so it's not really worth trying to install anything on here. Okay, and that was reasonably quick. Okay, so you can even go into the setup. And it's even going through the motions, but like I say, I'm not going to try to install this one. So if I just come out of that with the old Control 9 again. Oh, wrong one, it's Control 7. Okay, so the next one on the image I was just going to quickly show you is just set up a so I've made an image of Windows 7. Alright, looks like it's got stuck again. Yeah, so it seems sometimes it doesn't quite read. Maybe it's because of just some command that it's not supporting. Okay, so if you go into WinP, see what that has to say. It's the Windows 7 version. But what I've just shown is that this is basically the easiest way to do it. Is just create one big image, and then just have all the installers that you need on that one image, and then basically you just have to select whichever installer you want to use on that particular machine, and it saves having to, so if someone's you're going to do a remote check-in on it, or a remote install on the machine, just get the client, just plug it in, and they should only have to plug in 4 wires, the VGA and the 2 USBs and the power, and that should be enough for you to be able to run and install on the machine. Of course, to attach the server, that's something that you'd have to do, but maybe you've got a client who's up for that as well. And if they are, then of course you can. All I've done is I've just used servo tape, and it seems to hold really well. And yeah, and I mean, so far they haven't dropped off, even the amount of times that I've been activating. It's the same. Okay, looks like I've got more testing to do with this P to try and get the net. Although I forgot the networking isn't plugged in though, so yeah, so maybe it does work, but basically, let's see if the adapter recognize. type of drivers. Okay, well, looks like it hasn't, so I'll have to sort of work out why the drivers for the network card didn't load. Probably something I missed when I was doing the setup of the PE disk. But basically this is just a Windows 7 image that I've created, and so basically you can even burn it to like a CD, like a rewritable, and just boot from it for if you want to run some utilities on the it seems as if there's some stuff missing. It didn't actually, but anyway, that's just for another day. So that's for if you need to run some utilities on a hard drive which is already installed. But basically, the last thing I just want to do is just to show actually this is taking too long, so I'm just going to do it the old way, or the old classic way. Give it a Control-7, and to then just show you the last one. So basically with this setup, there's quite a lot you can do, and the reason why I wanted to add this last sort of video for now was simply because I've used one of those the IPMI systems on a Supermicro board, and that's one of the options it has, where you can actually load a CD image or disk image. Well, it says CD image in your DVD image, and it will take the data from that image over the network to the hardware. So I thought it didn't seem just so that I can complete the setup, basically, because that's the one last thing you'd want to do, is to be able to plug it into a blank machine. And as long as you've got an internet access, you can then, I don't know, download the image from one of your servers on the internet, and then just attach it, and then boot from it, and then install the OS onto the blank machine. And that's what I'm just going to do now, but I think I took too long, so I just gotta, it seems you just have to be quick. I don't know if it's when I'm too quick or too slow. Okay, so go in here and then choose Windows 7. So this is just to show that it does actually work, because it's one thing if you can boot all these disks up, and then you try and do an install, and it doesn't work, so then you just wasted your time. So the main thing you want to know is that you can actually read the stuff properly from the disk, and actually install the OS. Okay, so that's reasonably quick. So the performance is quite good. I was thinking you'd have to wait like half an hour for it to boot, but seems like it's pretty much the usual speed you'd expect from sort of from USB 2. Yeah, so at the moment I'm just using the keyboard, but that's how it is with Windows, is that from day one you've always been able to navigate with the keyboard. Okay, so now I've got these of course we don't want to delete our image, so ready to go. Okay, just had to step away for a short while there, but now I'm back, so well, it wasn't a short while, it was quite a while. So let's continue this. Okay, so that caps lock is stuck on for some reason, not sure why. looks like I really have to get that mouse working, so for the time being, I just have to do it this way. Okay, well, looks like it didn't recognize the network adapter, so, well, what I'll do is I'll just leave it there for now. So, basically, what this main aim of this demonstration is just to show that you can actually do a full install of an operating system with, and obviously what I could have done is just, if I get the drivers for this particular machine, just copy them onto an image, format it as NTFS, and then attach the image. Then what I'd be able to do is just basically install the appropriate drivers. But since I didn't really prepare myself for doing that, but that would basically be how you get out of this situation. And yeah, it's like it was only the Ethernet that I needed really anyway, that just because Windows doesn't support it. Okay, but basically that's it for this particular video. So yeah, again, hopefully I should have the things sort of, what I'll do is I'll put up an image of the Orange Pi, although I didn't really change much in it, but I'll just include the sort of the programs that are in there to create the image. And also I needed to remove the G serial module, because what happens, it clashes with the GMAS storage module, which is the one that I used for to actually get the images to appear on the USB bus. But basically, so that's it for the time being. But I've got other things I'm gonna try to, or features I'm gonna try to add or be testing. But for the time being, it's pretty much working how I need it in order to get this computer sorted out that I have to, this remote one. And I'll see what kind of success I have with it. Okay, see you.